courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. And that's something when you have a massive rejection wound is, I mean, that risking being seen was a massive thing for me, you know. And so I've got like a little 5-minute routine that people could perhaps try that uses a few of these things. So you could just do this for 5 minutes a day. Now,
the thing we avoided for so long, like, you know, before I started healing, I needed noise all the time. I needed distraction. I needed to be in company. I was like, I just couldn't listen to my thoughts. I used to drink. I used to smoke or whatever. Now I just now I love silence because now I want to hear this stuff so that I can release it. But I think a lot of us are just so afraid to see what's inside, and that's why we're constantly distracted. And that's like, you know, even simple things of being too busy, overworking, taking on overtime, all this kind of stuff.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
You know, being quite blamey.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, being very
not taking
judgmental of
responsibility.
others, actually.
Yeah.
Quite judgy.
Yeah. These are.
And we always say, I mean, you've already mentioned it, certain meditations, but any kind of regular meditation practice or breathwork practice allows you to quieten that 85% of thoughts that are just repetitive, or at least you can separate yourself from them. It allows you to have self-awareness, so that you can spot the patterns, so that you can reframe, and just finding some inner peace, really.
That's it. You know, when it came to the meditations, when I first started doing meditation, I couldn't quieten the mind. And I've discovered those reprogramming the unconscious mind meditations that you can do in your sleep. And I use those ones for the inner child, you know, trauma. And they were the ones that actually helped me to give up alcohol, but also to help me heal the mother wound. You know, I told you this before, I was definitely allergic to children. And I was only in healing that trauma that I actually, you know, I want to have kids now. Whereas before it was something I was never ever going to have children. Whereas I was able to heal the core wounding in relation to that through meditation and through reprogramming the unconscious mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So another quote, Brené Brown, who love her quotes. She's a researcher, author, and speaker. She says, "Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen." And that's something when you have a massive rejection wound is, I mean, that risking being seen was a massive thing for me, you know. So yeah, having the bravery, having the courage, because you have to step outside your comfort zone to be able to start building up the positive experiences to overwrite the negative ones. So inner child work, doing things like reframing and meditation and affirmations, will all help you to heal that wound. And so I've got like a little 5-minute routine that people could perhaps try that uses a few of these things. So you could just do this for 5 minutes a day. Now, just like anything, you don't do it once and then you're fixed. It's just like we heal in layers. And when we have had thought patterns for a long time, it takes repetition over a period of time to start changing that. So it's having a regular routine. So this one's just 5 minutes. You could do it in the morning when you get up or before bed. And if you do it for a few weeks, you should start to feel a shift. So morning or night, start 1 minute with some box breathing. Now, the lovely Catherine Lundquist, I think her name is, showed us a couple of weeks ago how to do proper box breathing. So she tells us that it's like a box. So it's in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, in for 4, hold for 4, and so on. So imagine the box as you're doing it, 4 seconds for each one. And do that for about a minute to really ground yourself and calm yourself so that you're ready to do a couple of minutes visualization. And then, like Angela talked us through, imagine yourself sat with your inner child and acknowledge them and speak to them as a parent. Start parenting them, tell them that they're safe, that they're protected, that they're loved. Tell them anything that you need to know about a situation that is, that you have uncovered is still troubling you. Give them a hug, make them feel loved, feel the warmth and protection, and really imagine it, and try and get all your senses. Even imagine feeling that hug, and then do 2 minutes of some affirmations. So prepare some affirmations. I've got a list of some of the kind of affirmations you could say. Hold on a minute. So the things you could say is, I am worthy of love and belonging just as I am. Rejection does not define my worth. It's safe to be seen. It's safe to be me. My inner child is loved, accepted, and protected. I no longer abandon myself to be accepted by others. So don't have loads of them. Maybe choose 2 or 3 and say them over and over. I can't say it. Repetition. Can't say it. Repeating things. Let's just try a different way. Repeating things is key with this, isn't it, Angela? It's
an ongoing practice. Like even the simple one of saying I am worthy over and over again. Just your brain mightn't believe it at first, but keep saying it. I am worthy. I am enough. I've written on my wall. I told you this. I have written I am enough on my wall, and every time I saw it, I was triggered. I was like, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I actually had to change the words to you are enough, because it's like it's being said to me now. I'm like, yeah, okay, I believe it now. I believe it. It's so weird how I just have to change the words. But like this simple thing of saying I am enough every day. I am worthy. I am good. I am worthy of love. You know what I mean? I am worthy of unconditional love. All this kind of stuff. I'm deserving of this. I'm deserving of abundance. I'm deserving of, and another one is like I'm happy.
Ones are better actually, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're easy to remember, and it almost becomes chant-like.
Yeah,
you
like
can
a
say it over.
Mantra. Yeah. Like what was it? I am healthy. I am wealthy is another one that I like to say, or I am safe. I am healthy. I'm protected. Just simple, quick ones like that. It just really,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So a couple of minutes of affirmations, and you don't say it once. You choose a few, not too many. Keep them short, maybe, and repeat them over and over. You could even journal, because writing things has been proven to embed it into your subconscious much better. So it's better for memory. So if you're learning something, handwriting notes will put it into your brain better. And so it's the same with affirmations. So you could say it a few times, you could write it at the end, perhaps.
And that's the thing where even journaling to your inner child is so good, because when you can speak to your inner child and reassure them that what they went through was never their fault, that can be a great way to have your inner child hear it more clearly when you actually direct it from you to them.
Yeah, and you actually coached me into writing a letter to my inner child, and that really helped me let go of that. Something that it actually took a long time of the healing journey to actually uncover that was in fact a problem at all. I'd completely forgotten about it, actually. And that's why we say we heal in layers, because we have to heal the surface stuff to be able to go deeper. And that's why these things can keep cropping up, and it's okay to revisit something if it crops up. It's good to revisit stuff. And what you will find is that the effect will be milder, the emotions will be milder, you might have very strong emotions, but it won't last as long, or you will recover much faster, you will spot it quicker, and and eventually it just becomes a fleeting thought.
That's it. When a wound is so profound, if we were to face it all in one go, we wouldn't actually physically or emotionally be capable of doing that. So we get little snippets every time, and each time we get stronger, and each time then, we might get a bigger challenge, but we have the strength to face it. And it just keeps kind of going up and up like that. And I think the final release is the biggest, but we're also the strongest for that.
Yeah.
So just understand, because I know myself when something resurfaces, before I actually understood the layers, I actually used to get so triggered. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this again. I fucking healed this shit. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'd be like, I refused to look at it again. But then I realized that I needed it. It's such a big wound that I only healed sections of it. And to understand that, then I was more accepting of healing the next section, because I was like, okay, we need to get more of this out of me.
And also, it's fair to say that like some things are obvious. So a wound comes out in many different ways. So there'll be obvious ways to you, and you'll heal it and you'll work through that. But then you'll begin to notice connections to other things, other quirky stuff that you've got going on. That's like, no, that's actually connected to that too.
Yeah.
You know.
It's nearly everything. Like everything I've started lately, it's all connected to my unworthiness wound, all connected to my inner child again, all connected to my not enoughness, and it's just like every single thing. They might all look like completely random different things, and they're all triggering the same wound. You know what I mean? So they're all, and that's a very loud message that you have some more healing to do. Because if there's different aspects of your life, you know, triggering your abandonment, rejection, or unworthiness wound, which is all the same anyway. You know, it's showing you that there is still some wounding to uncover or to heal.
Yeah, and recognizing that you need to heal something is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't want to look at the, you know, there being a possibility that there are areas of their life that they could do better if they'd healed, you know?
Yeah.
And
but that's the thing, we avoided for so long. Like, you know, before I started healing, I needed noise all the time. I needed distraction. I needed to be in company. I was like, I just couldn't listen to my thoughts. I used to drink. I used to smoke or whatever. Now I just, now I love silence, because now I want to hear this stuff so that I can release it. But I think a lot of us are just so afraid to see what's inside. And that's why we're constantly distracted. And that's like, you know, like the simple things of being too busy, overworking, taking on overtime, all this kind of stuff.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
You know, being quite blamey.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, being very
not taking responsibility.
Others, actually.
Yeah.
Quite judgy.
Yeah. These are all ways of avoiding what's within you. If you're triggered by something, and that's your shadow telling you that there's stuff inside you that needs to be faced. So anytime you get angry or upset or triggered, this is your soul or your internal guidance system, your intuition telling you, here, there's something within you that needs to be faced. Because oftentimes we blame the external or avoid our internal in order not to take responsibility for what we actually need to do. And we have so much power within our hands. You know what I mean? A little bit of introspection, a little bit of, you know, that courage to go within. It can really transform our lives, and it can really change us into the best versions of ourselves. And then you're not afraid of your thoughts. You know, I love being in silence now. I absolutely love it. And it's a great way to discover who you are, is to spend that time in silence and actually ask yourself, what is it that I need to do?
Having curiosity, you know?
Yeah.
That's such a wonderful thing, isn't it? Yeah, going back to my little routine. Another thing you could do with affirmations, you could journal them, is, you know, they always say the eyes are the window to the soul. So often when we look in the mirror, it's always to adjust our hair or clean our teeth. It's often cosmetic stuff, isn't it? You know, it's like the face, the hair. What do I look like in my clothes? But actually looking deeply into your own eyes and saying those things is quite powerful. I actually heard, who was it? Mel Robbins saying to think those things in your head and silently high five yourself in the mirror. She said, that's a really good way. So I quite like that one as well. So whatever, you know, you don't need to try all these things. Which one feels most comfortable? But in some way, giving yourself some kind of affirmation or mantra. And then finally, depending on whether you're doing it in the morning or if you're doing it at the end of the day, you can do a quick reframe of something that happened that day where perhaps you feared rejection, or you were wounded by rejection or criticism, or perhaps you didn't say no when you should have said no, or maybe you didn't speak out when you should have, you know, you felt you had something to say. So reframing or thinking how you could have done that differently. So if you're doing it in the morning, you will be looking at what happened yesterday. If you're doing it at the end of the day, you'll be reflecting on the day and just choosing one thing and try to reframe it. Yeah. So because we did a big chat, I'll go through that very quickly because it's just a 5-minute thing. Well, actually, it's 6 minutes. You could do 1 minute of affirmations instead of 2. But 1 minute of box breathing. So imagining the box 4, 4, 4, 4. To do 2 minutes of visualization with your inner child and doing some parenting. Let them feel warm and protected. 2 minutes of affirmations, whether in your head, whether journaling or in the mirror. And then spend 1 minute just making a quick reframe of something that has happened in the last 24 hours. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it, and enjoy it. You know what I mean? That's the thing here. I know inner child healing can be very, very. It can be difficult at the start. You know, when we're facing those darkest parts, but it's such a fun thing to do as well. And that's it. You get to start to live in your full childlike self. And you know, that's the thing. I remember watching a quiz show there one day, and one of the guys on it, these were celebrities, and he was really, really childlike. You know, a big, massive rugby player, really childlike. And I was like, that's somebody in their authenticity. That's somebody who doesn't give a shit. That's somebody that's done their healing.
And they're magnetic, aren't they?
Yeah, oh, I love it.
Energy.
Yeah, so that's the way you get to be. You get to rediscover your youthful self. You get to live with childlike wonder. You get to be playful again. And you get to do things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So at the other side of that darkness, there's so much colour and there's so much fun to be had. And it's so much lighter. Yeah. Instead of living a life so serious all the fucking time, you get to just be kid-like again. It's fun. So there is such magic to be found at the other side of the hard part.
Yeah,
definitely.
So give yourself permission to be playful.
Yeah,
and you start there. You know, if the other stuff feels too dark, you know, you
can exactly. You can start the other way around. Yeah, do the soft parts first, and that's the thing. You know, in nurturing your inner child, that's a good way of being able to gain the strength to face the darkest sides. And the whole objective here is loving yourself, and that's by first loving your inner child. Mm-hmm. So even if you just start with the reparenting, that will build up your inner self-worth and your inner self-love as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I thought I'd finish with your past does not define you, it prepares you.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's self-awareness, and if anybody, if I could give anybody a gift, it would be a meditation practice. I just cannot say meditation will help you make sense of things and see these things for yourself, actually, because you know, a lot of the healing, or certainly the beginning of my healing journey, I wasn't being counseled or coached or whatever. I mean, I had counseling in the past, but I didn't think it was particularly good, to be honest. But just meditation made me get such clarity.
You know? It's as far as I'm concerned, meditation is the miracle cure. Yeah. Like I've overcome anxiety, depression. I've healed the darkest parts of myself because of the help of meditation. You know, introspection and meditation, and it changes your life. You know, I don't drink anymore because of meditation mainly. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I don't need substances or external validation because I've done so much healing through meditation.
Yeah, definitely powerful. So if there's one thing, if you've only got time to do one thing in your life to change it, meditation.
Yeah.
And to finish, we're good today. It's exactly an hour. We behaved ourselves. We didn't talk over. Join Teacher Mindset Matters. It's our free Facebook group. It's full of coaches and school support staff. So it could be teachers and school support staff. We called it Teacher Mindset Matters because it's a nice snappy name, but it is open to anybody who works in a school, no matter what your role. So it's just full of positivity, interesting ideas and tips and tricks from different fields of mindset and self-growth. You can ask questions anonymously, and there will be someone there to help you. So search Teacher Mindset Matters. We're the only one. And I'll see you next. Oh, and we've already kind of planned. Have we planned what we're doing next week?
Oh yeah, we are. We're doing
we're gonna have another relook at, as we've been doing so much healing, and we're all prepared, we're all healed, we're ready to look at some manifestation next week. Yeah, so super excited about that. So see you next week. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.